Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This video is specifically going to help you in assessing and analyzing your profiles to see how good your chances are to get an admission here in Norway or anywhere in the world. Here I'm just going to discuss how to make a very good profile, the best that you can make out of whatever you have, and then go out and give it your best. So let's go. First thing you need to figure out is, I guess, the most important, your unique selling point, or why should the university pick you over others. And this unique selling point is what we're going to highlight using different approaches, using your statement of purpose, your recommendation letters, your academic scores, plus your IELTS or GRE or TOEFL scores or whatever exams that you gave. So it has to be a nice complete package that you're gonna present to the university, and you have to make sure that they are left with no choice but to give you an interview call or give you an offer straight away. So that's the first thing. Let's see how we can establish or how we can emphasize on these unique selling points of each individual. All right. So first of all, we have your, oops. Yeah, now it's better. So first of all, you have your statement of purpose, or sometimes it's referred to as an essay that you submit to a university. Now, what are the key things that you need to highlight in this essay? Keep in mind that you will also be submitting a resume most of the time. So your SOP or your essay should not be a copy paste of that. What I mean by that is, in a resume, we highlight everything that we have done personally and professionally. But in a statement of purpose, you need to specifically highlight some experiences or some achievements that you think will help you get into the program you want. For example, if I want to get into a business program, what I would want to do is highlight any achievements, or I'll give you an example. Suppose I was a part of a college club during my bachelor's, and our job was to promote sustainability or build some business models for some competitions, case studies, blah blah blah. You get the gist, right? So I can highlight that in my SOP, saying I was a part of this, we built a business model around this, and the estimated revenue was this. These were our strategies, and we presented this in the case competition. We were able to achieve first, second, third, whatever position. Or even if you didn't achieve anything, we can say I learned a lot out of it, and these are the key learnings from that experience. I learned how to handle customers, how to sell a product, etc., etc. So that's the key thing about your statement of purpose. Additionally, keep in mind it should be engaging, because admission team will be going through a lot of applications. That means they will be reading through a lot of essays, a lot of SOPs. Now your SOP should stand out from the crowd. What I do usually is, or what I did was, I picked out 3 key skills, 3 specific experiences, and I highlighted them. And I concluded by saying, oh, this is why you should give me an offer for this university, for this program, and how I can leverage the most out of it. That was my approach. Secondly, we have the letter of recommendations. Now, remember the skills that you have highlighted in your SOP or the essay above. We need somebody to say, I attest that this person has these skills, or I can recommend that this individual will be a good fit for this university. Now, these recommendation letters can come from your professors, your colleagues, let's say somebody from your community. If you're a part of any extracurricular organization, it could also come from that. Your mentors, your supervisors, it can come from anybody. So now what you're doing basically is, you have shown the university that you've done this, and then you have a letter of recommendation from somebody who says, I approve. So what do you have? You have established a strong point in front of the university. Okay. So the next thing is your work experience. Now, what I've experienced is, if you're going for a technical course, a STEM course, or a science related course, then you don't necessarily need a work experience. But if you're applying to a business program, it helps to have some sort of work experience. And if it's in the same field which you're applying for a master's in, then it's the best thing ever. So, like I've said before, I had worked for 3 years before picking up business analytics here, and I was working as a consultant. So my work was very similar to what I'm doing here, and it helped me a lot. Your work experience gives a clear idea that you have got hands-on experience in the same field that you wish to study further. So you see what we're doing. We have a foundation, and on top of that, we're building layers. And that's how you build a good profile. The next one will be an all-round personality. Now, this is nice tea. So universities don't want students who are only good at academics, but they're also looking for people who can help diversify the cohort, or the entire experience for everybody. So what you want to do is, you want to have good grades, but you also want to showcase your community experiences or things that you've been a part of. For example, I highlighted, when I was making my profile, I highlighted all the student bodies that I was a part of during my bachelor's, as well as when I went to work at my first job, I was a part of Toastmasters International. Next, we have research work. So a lot of you might have some projects or bachelor thesis, and I had the same thing as well. So my bachelor thesis was on artificial intelligence, and fortunately, I was able to publish a research paper on that. So if you have any sort of research experience, highlight your research work. Okay, now we have resume. So what should a resume look like? What are the things that it should have? First of all, as per my experience, your resume should be in a chronological order, should be brief, to the point, and it should not consist of a lot of words. Like, have you seen presentations, most effective PPTs? What they do is, they don't write sentences, right? They highlight the bullet points and then they discuss them. So that's what you're gonna do with your resume as well. You are not gonna write sentences. You must use crisp language, clean layout, very important. It has to be appealing, like the person on the other end should feel the urge to read through it. It should cover topics like your academic achievements, your extracurricular involvement, volunteer or community service, certifications, research, publications, leadership experiences, all of that. Some tips that I want to share, and I think these are really helpful, and not a lot of people talk about these, is before you're applying to a university, connect to the alumni, connect to people who are already studying there. How do you connect to them? Is via LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever. I think LinkedIn is the best though. So I would strongly recommend, before you're applying to a university, let's say you want to apply to BI for a specific course, connect to somebody who's already going through that course or who's already finished that course. Any information that you can fetch out of that and highlight that in your application. What this does is, this shows the university that you are super interested in the program, and they would be happy to have you. Okay, so we are almost at the end of my pointer sheet. The second last thing I have is your GPA or your academic records. Now, what should it look like? What would be a good percentage or a GPA when you're coming from India? On a 10-point scale, I would say above 8 is above 8 is great. You would have brilliant chances of getting into Norway. Above 7 is good as well. But when you are at a 7 pointer, you need other things to help you balance out your application. So what happens is, and if your GPA is going down, you need to compensate by, let's say, your GRE score or your GMAT score or any other experiences that you have, any research paper. So then it gets, it gets back up. So if you don't have a very good GPA, even below 7, you should not get disheartened. Just make sure to maximize your chances. Just make sure that you are highlighting something else that compensates for the drop in your GPA. This brings me to the last point, which would be your GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, whatever exams you give, and how much does that matter. So at BI, we had to submit our GRE scores. I got a 324, which would translate to a 710 for GMAT using ETS translators. These exams, like I said, they're not everything. Obviously, having a good score helps you a lot. But how I say is, these exams are a way to give it an extra edge over others. Additionally, if you lack in other parts of your profile, this would be a great boost. So don't worry if you don't get a good score. It's not everything. I would say it's like 10 or 20% of the entire profile. It's not super important, but at the same time, having a good score will help you get an extra edge over others. I guess that's it for today. I don't see anything else on my reading list over here. So I hope it helped you guys with somewhat of an idea of what a good application should look like, what a good profile could look like. I will sum it up really fast. Good grades is good. Good TOEFL, IELTS, GRE, GMAT is good, but it's not everything. You need to be able to write a good SOP highlighting why the university should pick you and why you decided to pursue or apply to that particular university. And on top of that, your recommendations, your resume, and other things. I will end this video here. You can connect with me on Instagram if you have any questions. Good luck to all of you, and I'll see you later.